At Whitby, we strive to instill confidence in the students throughout the continuum. And this begins with our youngest learners and stepping stones. As they cross the threshold into the classroom, we greet them with respect at their level. We offer them words when they need them. We help them with conflicts with peers and any interactions they may need some assistance. And at one point, one of the most important things for them is to say hi to a friend. Now, for all of us, that's easy. For them, it takes support, and that's what our Stepping Stones teachers are here to do for them. We support their growth and independence. We allow them time to accomplish tasks that they may not ever be able to do at home. We wait for them. We let them do it. If they do it wrong, that's okay. And that only gives them some resilience where they can try again. Mistakes are acceptable within our environment. There are many steps in the routines in the classroom. These routines help them to learn everything they need to know. And being repetitive is important to practicing and getting there. And as they practice and as they achieve something, they feel very confident. And that's where we find is our success. Teachers model language. We offer them the opportunity to help when needed. If they spill Cheerios on the floor, instead of getting excited and getting upset, we ask them, why don't we go find the dustpan and the broom and let's clean it up? And remember, they may only clean up 3 out of the 37 Cheerios that are on the floor. But we stand there patiently and we acknowledge their effort because they did try and they're respecting our environment, which is another aspect of our classroom which we encourage. And this is the point where we achieve success. When a child turns to us, pushes us away, and says, I can do it myself. That's the feeling that a child is confident in what they're doing. They've had time to practice. We walk away. We let her labor over the snaps or the buttons or the zipper, and she's doing it on her own. That's what we're there for. We're there to grow their independence, to give them growth. And as they build their independence, they're building their confidence. So they can go out in the world, they can go to the next level of the education continuum, or go out to a play date and enjoy being with other children and make friends and make new connections. If they need a snack, we stand by the side and we let them try to pour the water. For a moment in the beginning, we'll be behind them and we'll use our hands as their hands to help them with that. Yes, 5 out of 6 times the water goes in the tray or on the floor or on the table. But there's a sponge there. So let's get in there and let's be responsible. And that responsibility to them and the fact that we trust them with the opportunity to clean up a mess means the world to them. And again, there's their confidence coming through. And with that confidence, they move on to working with their peers and helping their peers. The youngest learners will walk up to another friend and offer to help if they look like they're having trouble getting the smock on or getting the shoes on. And that's what we do in Stepping Stones to move them along. What happens at the end when we watch the culmination of this journey as they leave us and move on to primary, we go in there and we are allowed to attend their primary graduation. And when you watch a Stepping Stones graduate a couple of years later stand up in front of a room of people and talk about what they loved learning in primary, you know that they're beginning their journey of being a confident learner and that we have done what we need to do for them.
And so our children enter the elementary school years, which play a formative role in supporting their self-esteem and confidence. our students, the culmination of their elementary years ends with exhibition. For those of you who have not been through exhibition, this is when we come together as one whole 4th grade and ask the children to choose a topic they are passionate about. We then send them off in small groups to research and explore this idea and to take action, either locally or globally. Last year was my first time facilitating exhibition with the students. Not long after my first few days teaching 4th grade, I asked the students what they had enjoyed so far, what they were looking forward to this year, and what they felt nervous about. Almost every student said the same thing. They were nervous about exhibition. However, having now experienced the exhibition process, I can confidently say it was an amazing few weeks for the students. From the very beginning of exhibition, when all ideas are a possibility, the students have to figure out what is a reasonable topic that they could take action on and form collaborative groups around this shared interest. Just as we do for all our units, the children go through each phase of the inquiry cycle, from brainstorming ideas around issues, co-constructing central ideas and lines of inquiry, finding resources, which also meant for the first time the students were reaching out to experts and setting up and conducting interviews, planning their own weekly tasks and managing their time to make sure they completed all those tasks, conducting research, brainstorming the action they wanted to take to the final presentation and sharing. I couldn't have been more proud of my group, and the 4th graders were so proud of themselves. On the final evening of the exhibition presentation, I saw children who were initially shy or nervous and hesitant to present their knowledge, actively stepping out to invite adults to come to their station and hear what they had to say. This process really enabled all students to have agency in their learning. By always providing our students at Whitby with opportunities to have a voice, choice, and ownership of their learning through our continuum and across the curriculum, we help our students develop confidence and a curiosity for the world around them, and thus be ready for the opportunities and challenges of the 21st century. On this final slide, you see a pair of 4th grade students sharing on exhibition night. They were excited, nervous, confident, and definitely well prepared.
Thank you.
So as we witnessed tonight, we can see how Whitby promotes preparation in various ways throughout the years, from stepping stones to all the way to the 8th grade. And this preparation clearly helps nurture confidence. After these teachers of our younger students do the heavy lifting, we praise them and try to do our best to continue their good work in the upper school. The 8th grade year in English begins with a unit called Language Matters. The unit begins with the question, do words carry power? The unit ends with the students creating their own podcast, which shares their individual beliefs. And any 8th grade parents, you'll be hearing your kids will be working on this at home soon and in class. And as with all units, this focus is on process and content. In preparation for this work, the students begin the unit by listening to, reading, and analyzing various speeches. They notice that influencers like Robert F. Kennedy chose his words carefully when sharing the news of Martin Luther King's death to an urban audience in Indianapolis, Indiana. They notice how he shared his belief system of a unified country when he stated, but the vast majority of white people and the vast majority of black people in this country want to live together, want to improve the quality of our life, and want justice for all human beings who abide in our land. They got to see his beliefs through his words and the power that his words carried that evening. The students also had the opportunity to read George Orwell's Animal Farm and observe how the manipulation of language and ideas can aid in the corruption of leadership. It's no wonder that the ending of the text upsets and frustrates them when Orwell concludes, the creatures outside look from pig to man and from man to pig and from pig to man again. But already it was impossible to say which was which. The kids are so upset with the ending of this book. It's unbelievable, and it's beautiful to see, right? Because you want that to upset them. It's really incredible. Big stuff for 8th graders, right? The unit then culminates in the students crafting their own podcast to share their ideas and beliefs in public with the public. In preparation for this, they answer the question, what matters to me and how will I communicate this message? After immersing themselves in This I Believe podcast and analyzing how these models work, the students create a criteria for a successful podcast. They then take action and begin to brainstorm, create, write, confer, record, revise, and then repeat that until they get it right. Like all learning, it's a process and it's one they take very seriously. And as you'll see, this preparation leads to confident ideas and voices. It's at this point in the night that we now get to hear one of these confident voices emerge. Please enjoy an excerpt of Seneca's podcast where she shares her belief on the topic of fear.
Even though fear is what keeps you safe, you can't learn anything without a few scratches or bruises. You learn from overcoming fear, from stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new. Fear gives you boundaries, but without fear, you have nothing to challenge against. And with nothing to challenge against, you don't learn anything. Doing something that scares you just gives you a better understanding of yourself and what your capabilities are to break out of your comfort zone. It adds on the new things you're now able to do, whether it's going cliff jumping when you're scared of heights, being on stage when you're afraid of messing up in front of a crowd, or maybe as small as eating an exotic fruit. In the end, you have another skill, another experience, and the feeling of relief, excitement, and accomplishment. In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, do one thing every day that scares you. In this, I believe.